Hello friends, welcome to Squared Plans. I'm Stephanie and today we're going to be talking about 3 routines for your planner to help you make the most of your day. This is a continuation of the productivity series I started last month, and if you're interested, do check out that playlist. It'll be linked below in the description and it will be linked on my homepage, so you should be able to find it pretty easy. Alright, let's jump in. Let's talk about partial day routines. These are most likely going to be morning or evening routines, but it can be done for any type of routine you're trying to form, including like cleaning or work routines or what have you. So the first thing is to decide on what time of day or what activity you're going to focus your routine on. And then start listing out all of the consistent tasks you're already doing during that time block. Once you get that down, add in any additional tasks or goals you'd like to achieve within that time frame. Be careful not to add too many new tasks to your routine so that you become overwhelmed. I would recommend no more than 3 in any given portion of the day. Keep in mind your energy levels throughout the day, and in this specific time block, make sure you're not putting something there that isn't matching with your energy level at that time of day. Now you're going to define a set time frame for getting this routine done. And for a morning routine, that would normally start when you wake up. And for me, I've been waking up at 7:30, so I'm going to push it back to 7 in order to give myself a little bit more time in the morning to get things done. Next, you'll want to estimate as closely as you can the time it takes to do each task and start to define the layout of your routine. Be sure you're including a cushion of time around each task so that you set yourself up for success. Things won't always go to plan, so you just want to make sure that your routine still flows from task to task, even if one or the other is running behind schedule. Now is also a good time for you to identify any items that can be linked together in order to create a stronger habit formation. So for me, getting my coffee is a great time to also take my vitamins and my herbal meds. Pairing things like this together really help you establish a flow and a rhythm to your routine as well. And once you've got it kind of mapped out, keep it ugly at first. Don't go and make it all pretty and then find out that something isn't working in your schedule. Be sure to try it out, sit with it for a couple days, and then identify any issues that may occur and solidify it. Once you have your routine set, then make a pretty chart for your planner and you'll be good to go. Next routine we're going to talk about is a block schedule. This is a daily schedule that basically breaks your day up into individual time blocks. It's pretty open as far as beyond those time blocks when you do things and how much you do in any given day. But it's a great way for those of us who have a little bit more fluctuating schedules and are not into such regimented schedule making. This originated with a YouTuber and blogger, Jordan Page, which I'll link in the description below. To know more about this style of planning, do check out her video. She goes really in depth on the process. Here, I'm just going to touch on the main points. First, you'll want to start by establishing your time blocks. Jordan recommends 2 to 3 hour time segments. I have mine a little bit longer in some areas, a little bit shorter, just because of the way that my day flows. Most of us have natural breaks in our day, whether it be work or school or even dinner time or working out. So use that as your starting point for defining your blocks of time. Once you have that set up, go ahead and list everything that you're already doing within each time block. Be thorough here. Be sure to include things like showering, eating, anything that you do that requires time from your day. As you're adding in all of these tasks, be sure to remember things like where you usually have appointments, meetings, breaks, and any other goals or habits you're trying to add into your day that you may not be doing already. Think about where they would best fit in the way your time is broken up and add those to the list as well. Finally, don't forget those tasks that you might only do one day a week. Still find the bucket of time that those would fall under and include those here. You can dial down into days a little bit more in the next routine I'm going to show you, but for now you still want to have them on here so you have a chunk of time laid out no matter what day of the week it is for any given task. This will just kind of help you stay on course with your schedule and give a little bit of structure to your day. Once you have it all mapped out, you can make a pretty version and have it live in your planner so you can reference it whenever you're going through these blocks of time. Even setting an alarm for when each block of time ends and the new one begins will help you stay on track for a productive day. Since we've already done all of the groundwork for the weekly master schedule through block scheduling and also our routine scheduling, we're going to go ahead and use that as the draft. Now identify the individual items or tasks that fall only on specific days and label those accordingly. I'm using W for weekend and then the first initial of the day for anything that falls on a specific day. We're going to also categorize these for color coding on our weekly schedule. This is an optional step, but I do like to see things visually in certain colors so I know what type of thing I'm supposed to be doing at any given time. So I'm going to just use these highlighters to go quickly through and identify things under my own specific categories. Blue is for things that I have to do on a daily basis, whether it's eating or taking care of myself. Pink is for home, things that are more habits or hobbies that I'm interested in. We're going to use orange for things that could be classified as work but are more like busy work, administrative. And then yellow will be anything that will directly result in income and could be classified as work. So once that's established, start estimating the time it's going to take to complete each task. This is very similar to the step we did for the partial day routine, a little bit broader, but it's just good to have a rough estimate on how much time you spend on any given task. While you're doing this, keep in mind, be as accurate as possible to identify how much time each task takes. Time yourself if possible. It'll really help you get a definitive and well thought out routine once you have a clear understanding of how long things take. So I'm just going to quickly go through, try to figure out anything that I might have forgotten as well and add that in here. Once you've laid the groundwork for setting up your weekly schedule, you'll need to find a couple of sheets of paper or an old layout or something to define each day of the week as well as the hours within that week using the time blocks as a guide. So since my day starts at 7:30 and ends at midnight, I'm just going to go ahead and use this lined vertical layout and define my hours accordingly. The easiest way to get started is to start with those partial day routines you've set up already. Since I already have a morning routine, I'm going to go ahead and start by laying that in. I'm also going to define the blocks of time that I'll be working in based off of my block schedule above. If you didn't go through the process of doing the block schedule but wanted to do a weekly master schedule, just define those chunks of time in your day that you know are blocked out. Say maybe you're at work for 8 or 9 hours a day, or maybe you have kids in school for a certain amount of time during the day. Start there, kind of block out that time before you transition to some other part of your day, and that'll help you get started. When setting up this part of the schedule, it's easiest just to start with those things that don't change from day to day. You can easily just block out the time with a wash of color, or here, like I'm just drawing some lines, anything that's the same across the spread. So my wake up time and my sleep time are consistent, as well as my lunch break roughly. So we're gonna solidify that here and break it down from there. If you have things that are fairly consistent throughout the week, but maybe adjust on the weekends per se, or if you have a specific day where things don't quite work out the same, you can do what I did there with the workout and define the change and leave the rest mapped out for whatever you do normally. Once you get the major blocks of unchanging items in there, start looking at things that are normally connected to those items. So for me, my evenings are usually filled with working out, and then I immediately shower after that workout. So I'm going to add that right in, and then I eat after that. That's when I kind of decompress. So I'm just going to add all that in since it all kind of flows together. And once you get that main chunk of stuff in there, you want to take a look at your schedule, start crossing off things that you've already put in, and if you've defined which day each thing is on, start adding those in accordingly. I have a photography date with my girlfriend every Friday, or I did before COVID-19, but I still want to continue it, so I'm hoping to revive that soon. I'm going to add that in. I'm also going to add in all of those weekend tasks that only happen on the weekends. And I'm going to do something a little bit different by establishing a more open space for anything to be done in that time frame. So on the weekends, it won't be quite as structured. It'll just depend on the day and the week on what I decide to do, what needs to be done. But I'll just block out some time to get those open items done that need to be taken care of for the house. And that said, it's good to start creating focus days. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm reserving home for Sunday. I'm going to have Saturday be more of like my family quality time, personal care time day. During the week, I am setting up Monday and Wednesday for filming days, and filming will usually include voicing. The following day after that will be the editing and posting day for video production, and I'll focus on that 4 days a week. So I'm setting that up now and then adding in the elements as I go. It really helps to truncate things into specific days. You can focus in on what needs to be done, and you don't get distracted by other things calling to you. If you just decide that this is the day that I'm going to batch work on something, you can really focus in and get more done in a shorter time by not trying to spread yourself too thin. I also set aside another day for those goals that aren't related to social media filming, putting that on to Friday. my only last day for kind of openness here. And since like I said, my photography, the date is kind of on hold, I'm going to define that time block as well. So once you guys get that all in, double check and make sure you've got everything on your list in there. It's good to go through and kind of cross things off and make adjustments as you see them, add in things. I'm using a erasable pen, but it's really good to probably do that or have some kind of pencil or something that can be changed so that you can easily make adjustments in this process and figure out where everything can fit in. Since this is more of a working draft, it's really helpful to have that flexibility so that you can really dial in your schedule and figure out what it is that you need and get everything in there on any given week. And here I am finding little spaces to add in some of the tasks that need to be done on a regular basis. And again, it's really helpful to cross things off, make sure you get everything on your list in there, and then you're all set for a productive week. So here's the finished product for my schedule, and you can see I designed a color coding system just to help me visualize what I'm doing within each time block I have set up. Overall, I think that defining the focus days is really going to be helpful. So stick with the rough draft until you actually work through it for a week or two. Make sure everything kind of feels right, and then commit it to a spread of your choosing. Either design one from scratch using like bullet journal style, or repurpose some pages like I did here from a vertical layout and make it your own. So there are 3 routines for you to use in your planners to hopefully make your day more productive. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed it and found some useful tips. And we will see you next time. Bye!